Hi, welcome back to the next video snippet from Bedagisjwedawajokzeloumsen, A Dragon's Journey. Today we're going to read the second part of chapter 3, and at the very end we have a little homage to MC Eiht. If you know it, you'll know it. If you don't, you need to know it. Okay, if you're ready, here we go. The two little humans chattered excitedly as they left Beda's cave. Somehow these insignificant mammals had discovered the dragon's home, and they were looting Beda's trove, carrying off its treasure like ants carrying off crumbs. The crumbs that the human male carried consisted of a golden platter whose diameter was half as great as the man's height. The female who followed him had draped a long necklace of black pearls mounted in pure white platinum settings and wore a tiara that had been ancient when it had been a marriage gift for an Athenian queen. These two exquisitely beautiful treasures were part of Beda's hoard, a part of which Beda was especially proud. But the dragon also noticed that the female wore jewelry that did not belong in Beda's trove. She wore a golden ring, poor quality, probably only half gold, that held a tiny chip of a diamond, again poor quality, on her left hand. Beda noticed immediately that the oily little chip emitted a strong blue fluorescence that masked its true yellow color. The chip had as many blemishes and inclusions as the human female had scars on her cheeks. Her human mate had apparently ignored her obvious flaws, probably having only examined her as she apparently had the diamond shard under artificial light. And the poorly cut little stone weighed only a few points and lacked the brightness that dragons, and most humans, lusted after. The two humans chattered excitedly until they saw Beda. Then, as one, they stopped still, screamed, and ran back toward the dragon's cave. As they neared the entrance, Beda called the golden plate, the necklace of pearls, and the ancient crown to him, along with the female's tiny, almost precious ring. The treasure disappeared, absorbed by the dragon, but the humans were so terrified that they didn't slow their running, never giving their stolen and now missing lucre another thought. The two tiny thieves ran into the dragon's cave. Beda leapt into the air and landed just in front of the mouth of the cavern, and then waited and waited. And as the dragon waited, it considered the events of the past few days that had changed its life. Beda's parent had left its hatchling, knowing that the young dragon knew what it needed to know to thrive. Beda had received a kind invitation from its aunt to visit the venerable yellow deity of the four faces and its relations in China. That would be a grand adventure. After its grand adventure, Beda could return to its cave and its hoard, or it could start anew. And so Beda made its decision. It would visit China and see how the other dragons lived. So Beda stoked its fires until they were hot enough, and then it spit out a fountain of flame. For a minute or two nothing happened, except that a number of trees and bushes that once believed that they were securely anchored in the ground were knocked across the face of the mountain by the force of Beda's blast and the fierceness of the dragon's fire. And then it began. Mount Katahdin and its brother mountains are made of rocks that were created in the cauldron of an ancient volcanic caldera. Katahdin is what remains of a magma chamber that gave the traveler the sheets of welded rock that it is made of almost 400 million years ago. Katahdin is granite made of feldspar, quartz, and mica. The traveler rhyolite is of almost the same chemical composition, with finer grains of a dark greenish gray, almost black color. But it was formed as layers of welded tough volcanic ash that had flowed together as the volcano erupted and fused together under inconceivable heat and pressure. When this rhyolite breaks, as it does occasionally, it does so in smooth, arcing, razor-sharp curves. The traveler rhyolite is 10,000 feet thick, 25,000 feet wide, and 40,000 feet long. Scientists have determined through extensive experimentation that granite and basalt melt somewhere around 1260 Celsius, about 2300 degrees Fahrenheit. Rhyolite melts at about 900 degrees Celsius, about 1650 Fahrenheit. And so, as the dragon's fire touched them, the rocks of the mountain, known as the Traveler, began slowly, so very slowly, to melt. The rocks of the Traveler had been formed of magma hundreds of millions of years before, but they remembered what they had been. And so the solid rock returned to its liquid memories. The new magma flowed down the mountainside and began to cover the entrance to the mountain cavern with a new flow. As the liquid rock filled the hole of Beda's cave, Beda at first heard the little human's tiny screams of terror. As the opening became smaller and smaller, the screams became smaller and smaller as well. And when the flow covered the hole entirely, the annoying screams wholly stopped. And then, Beda's mountain home and the forest that surrounded it was peaceful again. The dragon would sleep under the stars tonight and leave on its adventure when the sun rose in the morning, the beginning of the day being an especially auspicious time to begin any new enterprise. And again, Beda found itself filled with music that demanded, just as the flames had, to be let out and shared with the night. Beda again began a rhythm, a different one for this different song, with nods of its head, beats of its tail behind, and stomps of its feet on the ground beneath. Hit 'em up? Nah, D, burn 'em up. Beda began its song with an introduction that called to those who would hear and offer the truth to those who would believe. Yeah, this is my story. I'm a cosmic dragon. Nah, don't be dissing now. Don't be nagging. We got flying dragons, lion dragons, cusey dragons, loser dragons, prancing dragons, and dancing dragons. Be the dragon in you. Be the dragon in you. Come on, D's now. Roar it. Roar it. Nobody, nowhere dare to ignore ya. Ain't nothing but the dragon in me. Say nothing but the dragon in me. Roar, roar, boil that breeze, put them humans on their knees. Ow, ow, yippee-yi-yay, yippee-yi-yay, ow, wow. Ow, ow, yippee-yi-yay, yippee-yi-yay, ow, wow. You don't have to feel so bad, make your hoard from the gold they had. It's just the dragon in me. It's just the dragon in me. You don't have to feel so bad, make your hoard from the gold they had. Just the dragon in me. It's just the dragon in me. Ow, ow, yippee-yi-yay, yippee-yi-yay, ow, wow. Ow, wow, yippee-yi-yay, yippee-yi-yay, ow, wow. I'm just a cosmic dragon flying to the action. Gypsum dragons, Merkin dragons, Scottish dragons, Norway dragons, Russian dragons, Chinese dragons, dragons all over the world. German dragons, dragons from Wales, dragons with wings, dragons with tails, Ouroboros all around the world, burning human boys and girls, dragons all over the world, real motherfucking D's. And when Beda had dropped that final motherfucking D's on the side of its mountain, the young and powerful dragon roared its song and its victory to the stars of the ancient constellation Draco that shone in the sky over its head. The same group of stars that the builders of the pyramids had aligned their construction to honor by orienting one side of the pyramids facing north and placing the entrances so that the head of the serpent, Alpha Draconis, would be visible from inside the pyramids at night, Thuban, Edamine, and Rastaban.